Have you ever felt like something's missing in your relationships, but can't quite put your finger on it? Maybe you've tried dating again and again, only to find yourself drawn to the same toxic patterns. The truth is, our childhood experiences are secretly shaping the way we connect with others. And if we don't uncover these hidden patterns, we may be stuck in a cycle of heartache and self-doubt. In this video, we'll explore why you're attracted to toxic relationships and how childhood trauma can lead to emotional neglect and attachment issues. We'll delve into the subtle ways our past experiences influence our present connections and what it takes to break free from these patterns once and for all. Think back to the relationships in your past. Maybe there was one partner who consistently made you feel small, or another who drained all your energy without giving anything back. At first glance, it can seem like these patterns are just a result of bad luck or poor taste in partners. But what if I told you that often these toxic connections are connected to deeper wounds from our childhood? Childhood trauma can leave us feeling unseen, unheard, and unlovable, making us more likely to attract people who confirm those feelings. You might find yourself constantly adjusting your schedule to accommodate others, saying yes to commitments that drain you, or sacrificing your own needs for the sake of keeping someone happy. These behaviors can be subtle, but they're a form of people-pleasing, and it's often rooted in childhood experiences. You see, when we grow up with a lack of emotional support, our brains can get wired to constantly scan for potential threats, like a security system on high alert. This constant vigilance can lead to overthinking, as we become experts at anticipating and preparing for the worst-case scenario. It's like being stuck in a perpetual state of fight or flight, even when everything seems calm. Imagine having a friend who always worries that you're going to cancel plans at the last minute, not because they've actually done anything wrong, but because they're trying to protect themselves from potential hurt. That's what it feels like to have emotional neglect in childhood. It's as if we're constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop. This can make it incredibly challenging to trust others as adults, and even more difficult to receive affection or intimacy without feeling suffocated or overwhelmed. It's a pattern that can be hard to break, but understanding its roots is the first step towards healing. When we think of depression, we often imagine someone curled up on the couch, unable to get out of bed. But high-functioning depression is different. It's like being a high-performance athlete who can run a marathon without getting tired. Outwardly, everything looks fine, but beneath the surface, there's exhaustion and pain. Imagine growing up with a critical parent who constantly pushed you to excel, even when it meant sacrificing your own happiness. You learn to put others' needs before your own, to be selfless and invisible. As an adult, this pattern can manifest in relationships where you people-please, overcommit yourself, or take on too much responsibility. I've worked with clients who have high-functioning depression, and they're often surprised when I point out the signs, like consistently saying yes to others, even when it means sacrificing their own needs. It's a coping mechanism that's become second nature, but it can be toxic to relationships. Recognizing these patterns is crucial to breaking free from them. Breaking free from patterns can feel daunting, especially when they're deeply ingrained. But here's the thing, you don't have to tackle them all at once. Think of it like trying to unravel a knot. If you pull too hard, it just gets tighter. Instead, start with small, manageable threads. Identify one area where this pattern is showing up in your life, and focus on that. For example, let's say you're always drawn to partners who are unavailable. You might notice that every relationship ends the same way, with them pulling away or disappearing. To break free from this pattern, start by acknowledging how it makes you feel: anxious, hurt, resentful. Then, take a small step towards change. It could be as simple as practicing self-compassion when you feel the familiar anxiety creeping in. The good news is that you don't have to be held back by your childhood experiences. It's never too late to make changes. By taking small steps, you can start to rewrite the script and create new patterns that serve you better. Rebuilding trust is like peeling back the layers of an onion. It's not always easy, but with patience and persistence, you can get to the heart of the issue. As you start this journey, remember that self-discovery is a key component. It's about acknowledging your own patterns and behaviors that may have contributed to the breakdown in trust. Think about it like this. When we're in a relationship, we often take on the role of our partner's mirror. We reflect their emotions, their needs, and sometimes even their flaws. But what happens when you start to break free from those patterns? You begin to see yourself, not just as your partner's reflection, but as an individual with your own thoughts, feelings, and boundaries. I remember a client who had been in a toxic relationship for years. She told me that she felt like she was drowning in her partner's emotions and couldn't breathe without feeling anxious or guilty. But as we worked through her self-discovery process, she began to see that she wasn't responsible for saving her partner from their own pain. By acknowledging her own needs and setting boundaries, she started to rebuild trust, not just with her partner, but also with herself. As we navigate the complexities of our relationships, it's essential to create an environment that supports our growth. Think of it like a garden. You need fertile soil, adequate sunlight, and consistent watering for your flowers to bloom. Similarly, in our lives, we need a supportive ecosystem to flourish. This means setting healthy boundaries with others, just as Sarah did when she communicated her needs clearly. When we prioritize self-care, we're not being selfish. We're actually creating a safe space for ourselves to grow and heal. Imagine your relationship with yourself like a cozy little cabin. You want it to be warm, inviting, and protected from the outside world. By taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being, you'll become more resilient to life's challenges. Creating this supportive environment is not about changing others. It's about cultivating a sense of self-awareness and compassion within yourself. It's a gentle yet powerful process that will ultimately help you thrive in all areas of your life. As we come to the end of our journey together, I want you to take a moment to reflect on how far you've traveled. You've begun to uncover hidden patterns in your relationships, and with that awareness comes the power to create change. Remember, this process is not about changing others. It's about understanding yourself and the role you play in the dynamics of your relationships. Consider a tree that's grown twisted over time, its branches knotted and tangled. To prune it effectively, you don't cut away the entire tree. You carefully remove the dead or damaged parts, allowing new growth to flourish. Similarly, we're not trying to uproot ourselves from our relationships entirely. Rather, we're gently pruning away the patterns that no longer serve us. You have the power to create a new path forward, one that's filled with healthier connections and a deeper understanding of yourself. Trust in this process, trust in yourself, and know that you're not alone on this journey. As you continue on this path of self-discovery, I want to leave you with a gentle reminder. Be kind to yourself, not just today, but every day. Celebrate the small victories. It's in these moments that we often find the most strength. Remember, you're not bound by your past or defined by your relationships. You have the power to create new patterns, new connections, and a new sense of self. And when the darkness comes, as it inevitably will, know that every moment is an opportunity to start anew. Take one step forward today, and then another tomorrow. You don't have to do this alone. We're all here, in some way or another, navigating these same waters. I invite you to join me on this journey, to subscribe to our channel, and to know that you are not alone.